There is something almost unreal about the moment you step off the plane in Italy. The air feels different, the light looks different, even the sounds around you carry a certain warmth that you cannot quite explain until you are standing right in the middle of it. From the very first breath of Italian air, you already know this trip is going to be something you will talk about for years. The journey started in Rome, where ancient history and modern life collide in the most beautiful way imaginable. Cobblestone streets wind between centuries-old buildings, and around every corner, there is something that stops you in your tracks. Whether it is a crumbling archway that dates back 2,000 years or a tiny espresso bar tucked between two apartment buildings, Rome greets you with open arms and absolutely no intention of letting you leave unimpressed. The Colosseum alone is worth the entire trip. Standing in front of it, you realize that no photograph, no documentary, no travel blog has ever done it justice. It is massive, it is ancient, and it carries a weight of history that you can physically feel. Walking through the Roman Forum, imagining the footsteps of emperors and senators on the same ground beneath your feet is the kind of experience that resets your entire perspective on life. But Rome was just the beginning, and if you have ever dreamed about visiting Italy, if it has been sitting on your bucket list for years, drop the words bucket list in the comments right now. Seriously, pause for just a second and let us know, because this video is about to show you exactly why Italy deserves that top spot on your list. After spending a few days soaking in the history of Rome, the trip moved south toward the coast, and nothing could have prepared us for what was waiting there. The Amalfi Coast is one of those places that looks like it was designed by someone who had never heard the word ordinary. Cliffside villages painted in shades of yellow, pink, and terracotta cling to the mountainside above the Tyrrhenian Sea, and the water below is a shade of blue that does not seem to belong to the real world. Positano was the first stop along the coast, and it immediately became a favorite. The narrow streets cascade down the hillside like a waterfall of color and life. Boutique shops, lemon trees, and the smell of fresh seafood fill every alleyway. The beach at Positano is a mix of dark pebbles and golden sand, and the water is so clear you can see straight to the bottom even when you are standing waist deep. Spending an afternoon floating in that water, looking up at the cliffs above and the village draped across them, felt like living inside a painting. From Positano, the journey continued along the winding coastal road to Ravello, a hilltop town perched so high above the sea that the clouds sometimes drift below you. The views from Villa Simbrone are the kind that make you go completely silent. There are no words, you just stand there and stare and try to memorize every detail because you know your camera will never fully capture it. The beaches along the Amalfi Coast are not just beautiful backdrops, they are experiences. Renting a small wooden boat and exploring the hidden coves and sea caves along the coastline is something every traveler should add to their itinerary. The water shifts from deep navy to electric turquoise as you move through the shadows of the cliffs, and the silence out on the open water, broken only by the gentle lapping of waves, is the kind of peace that is very hard to find anywhere else. If this is already making you want to book a flight, go ahead and drop bucket list in the comments. We want to know how many of you are dreaming of standing on that coastline right now. The adventure then moved further south to Sicily, the largest island in the Mediterranean Sea, and a place that carries its own distinct identity within Italy. Sicily is raw, dramatic, and deeply proud of its culture. The beaches here are a completely different experience from the Amalfi Coast. Instead of cliffside drama, Sicily offers wide open stretches of white sand and shallow turquoise water that extend for what feels like forever. San Vito lo Capo is one of the most stunning beaches in all of Europe, and that is not an exaggeration. The sand is powdery white, the water is impossibly clear, and the backdrop of rugged limestone mountains gives the whole scene a cinematic quality that is hard to believe is real. Spending a full day at San Vito lo Capo, swimming, snorkeling, and simply lying in the sun with a cold granita in hand was one of the most purely joyful days of the entire trip. The Sicilian coastline also hides some incredible secrets. The Valley of the Temples near Agrigento sits just a short drive from the southern shore, and walking among those ancient Greek ruins with the Mediterranean glittering in the distance behind them is an experience that blurs the line between vacation and something much more profound. Sicily is the kind of place that gets under your skin in the best possible way. No trip to Italy can be properly told without spending serious time talking about the food, because Italian food in Italy is an entirely different universe from what most of us have experienced back home. This is not about fancy restaurants with white tablecloths. Although those exist and they are extraordinary, this is about the pizza you eat standing on a street corner in Naples, folded in half because that is how the locals do it, with sauce so simple and fresh it tastes like the tomato was picked an hour ago. Neapolitan pizza is a religion, and after one bite, you completely understand why. The dough is soft and slightly charred at the edges. The mozzarella melts into the sauce in a way that feels almost deliberate, and the whole thing is finished in a wood-fired oven in about 90 seconds. It is perfect in its simplicity. Along the Amalfi Coast, the food leans heavily into seafood and lemons. Everything is touched by lemon in some way, from the pasta with lemon cream sauce to the limoncello served after dinner in tiny chilled glasses. Fresh grilled branzino with olive oil and herbs, eaten at a table overlooking the sea as the sun goes down, is the kind of meal that becomes a core memory. In Sicily, the food tells the story of centuries of cultural influence. Arab, Greek, Spanish, and Norman flavors all weave together in Sicilian cuisine to create something completely unique. Arancini, those golden fried rice balls stuffed with meat, ragu, or cheese, are sold from street carts and eaten on the go. Cannoli filled with fresh ricotta and dusted with powdered sugar are nothing like the versions you find outside of Sicily. Caponata, a sweet and sour eggplant dish, is served as a side with almost everything and becomes immediately addictive. Pasta alla norma, made with fried eggplant, tomato sauce, and salted ricotta, is one of those dishes that makes you wonder why you ever ate anything else. And the gelato. There are truly no adequate words for Italian gelato eaten in Italy. Dense, creamy, and intensely flavored, it bears almost no resemblance to ice cream. Pistachio gelato in Sicily, made from a local Bronte pistachios, is arguably the single greatest food experience of the entire trip. Every meal in Italy felt like an event, not because of the setting or the price, but because of the care and quality that goes into every single ingredient. Food in Italy is love made edible, and you feel that in every single bite. Italy has a way of following you home. Long after the suitcase is unpacked and the tan has faded, you find yourself thinking about the light on the water at Positano, or the smell of basil and tomato drifting from a kitchen window in Naples, or the way the ancient stones of Rome felt warm under your hands on a summer afternoon. It is a country that engages every single one of your senses simultaneously and leaves an impression that simply does not fade. What makes Italy so special is not just the beauty of its landscapes or the brilliance of its food, it is the feeling that life here is lived with intention. Meals are long and unhurried, conversations happen face to face. The pace slows down in a way that reminds you what it feels like to actually be present. That is the real souvenir you bring home from Italy, not a magnet or a bottle of olive oil, but a shift in how you see your own daily life. If this video has sparked something in you, if Italy has been sitting quietly on your bucket list, waiting for its moment, let this be the sign you needed. Drop bucket list in the comments and start planning. Italy is not just a destination, it is an experience that changes you, and it is absolutely worth every single moment.